Hello and welcome to another whiteboard training video. I'm Isaiah Hankel with Cheeky Scientist, and today I'm talking to you about whether or not you are invisible on LinkedIn. It's a good question to ask yourself. If you don't have employers, recruiters reaching out to you frequently, even if you're a PhD student, you're invisible. Okay, hiring is through the roof, especially for PhDs right now. If in today's economy, today's rapid hiring environment, if you're not getting contacted frequently, if you're not turning down offers, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about some questions to ask yourself, some improvements you can make on LinkedIn very easily so you can become visible. If you're not getting contacted, it's not because you or your PhD is not valuable, it's simply because you're invisible on LinkedIn. All right, so we want to change this. We are next week going to do an intensive advanced LinkedIn training webinar. This is completely free to you. This is next Thursday. We're going to do it at 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to put a link at the top of this video and in the comment section. Once the video is done, we're live right now. Once we're done, I'll put the link there. You can get an early ticket, free pass, a free seat to our LinkedIn intensive advanced training next Thursday at 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, so number one, hiring is up 500% for PhDs. Now these are our internal statistics. What does that mean? It means where we were seeing, maybe 3 people a week getting hired in industry, 3 PhDs a week getting hired in industry from our association, we're seeing 15 a week now. The numbers are through the roof. Overall, they're up 500%. Okay, so another way to think about it is fivefold. That is a huge increase. Right now, this month even, we're seeing more PhDs hired in industry than ever before. And if you're thinking, well, wait a second, why am I not hired? Why am I still unemployed? Again, it's not because you're not valuable, it's just because you don't have the right strategies. You're invisible on LinkedIn. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you being contacted, right? Even if you're getting contacted once or twice with a stock message from recruiters, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a recruiter reaching out to you specifically, asking you about things that are on your LinkedIn profile, right? Showing that they're serious about hiring you, not somebody who's just sending a blanket message to 500 contacts on LinkedIn, which you can do as an employer using LinkedIn Recruiter. Okay, so are you getting specialized messages? If not, here's what you have to do. Number 2, you have to realize that search, right, especially from an employer's point of view, it's based on contacts and activity. We talk a lot about the need to have the right keywords on your LinkedIn profile, and we're going to touch on that in a second. What we don't talk enough about is that you have to have more than 500 contacts on LinkedIn to be visible. Okay? LinkedIn's going to give preference to somebody who has 500 contacts on LinkedIn and who's very active on LinkedIn over a job candidate who's not active, who only has 120, 200, 300 connections. Okay? LinkedIn's algorithm values the number of contacts you have. You want to have 500 plus, and it values your activity. So you want to do something that's called splashing around on LinkedIn. Okay? This means commenting on other people's posts, liking their post, posting yourself, right? Writing an article or review of the field that you're in or the field that you want to get into. That activity will boost your visibility massively, especially in terms of LinkedIn Recruiter. This is the side of LinkedIn that employers have access to that they use. Okay, so that if they type in, project manager, you'll actually come up because you have 500 plus contacts and because you've been active. Number 3, where do you want to work? Will you move? So it's kind of a paradox. When hiring is increased this much as it is now, it's in one sense easier than ever before to get hired, but it's also a little bit harder because hiring managers have a lot of pressure on them. Recruiters have a lot of pressure. It's like a battle, right, for different firms, recruiting firms and employers. They're all trying to find the best talent. They can't find you because, again, you're invisible. You've been in academia your whole life. You have 100 connections on LinkedIn. You have no industry connections. That's what we're trying to change here. One thing you can do to make it easier for recruiters to lock in on you is to put the 1 or 2 top locations that you're looking to work at. Okay, 1 or 2 top cities that you want to work in. You might think that you're increasing your options by not putting any location, but you're actually hurting your options because you're not going to come up in any search. Every recruiter search is going to start with a location, every single one. Same with employers. You have to put at least 1 location. Now, in addition to that, you can also put the words willing to relocate. Willing to relocate. Okay, so if you're willing to relocate, that's great. make sure you put in 1 or 2 of your preferred locations where you want to work and put in willing to relocate. We'll go into that into more detail on next week's webinar. Number 4, employers are future focused. Ask yourself, is your LinkedIn profile past focused or future focused? I'm guessing, because this is a mistake that I made, right? When I wrote my first CV, right, it was like a work of art. It was 6 pages. I wanted to make it as long as possible because the longer was better. I played with the margins. I stuffed in a bunch of words, had a bunch of jargon in there, and I felt really good about it. You know, I know my PI, et cetera, they all had like 20-page CVs, and I was like, one day I will have a 20-page CD. That's all that mattered to me. And, you know, CVs are written about what you've accomplished in the past. It's like a peer-reviewed timeline of your study history, your work history, your PhD history. Throw that out the window. Industry employers don't care about what you've done in the past. They care about what you've done that will apply to the future, that will apply to the position they want to put you in, okay? They're very future focused. So if your entire LinkedIn profile just talks about your job duties of the past, things that you've done in the past in your job, makes no reference to how those duties or those results apply to the future, you're in big trouble. They're not going to spend any time on your profile. You need to take everything that you've done and fit it into the jobs that you want. Okay? This means you need to study and look at job posting after job posting, set up informational interviews, get access to a job referral network so you're not spending years trying to build an industry network from scratch. Get the on-the-ground information that you need to be able to speak in terms of where you're headed in the future, to be able to speak to what employers want for the positions that you're interested in. That's future focused, okay? It can be as simple, let's make it practical, it can be as simple as using the word relevant. Okay, you've done these technical skills, you have these transferable skills. Talk about how they are relevant to the position that you want. Okay, and we'll go into that a lot on next week's webinar. Number 5, employers spend seconds on your profile. Are you burying the lead? So in the newspaper industry, there's a common phrase that says, don't bury the lead. What does that mean? It means whatever the headline is, whatever the biggest result is, don't put it in the last page of the newspaper. Don't put it at the bottom of your LinkedIn profile. But as academics, this is what we are taught to do. Think about it. Think about the last presentation, the academic presentation that you gave. I can tell you exactly what it was. Background, blah, blah, blah. Here's the history of the field for like 100 years. I'm going to slowly show you data that builds a case for something. And then the very last slide, after everybody's asleep or they're in their pizza coma at the seminar, that's when you deliver like the biggest result that you have. That's the exact opposite of what you want to do. Nobody's going to sit, look at your LinkedIn profile for hours to find the most important information. What's the most important information? The information your audience, recruiters, employers, and hiring managers care about. For example, where do you want to work, right? Location. What are the job titles you want? Project management. Right? The first 2 things that every employer is going to search on LinkedIn Recruiter is location and job title. So if you want to be a project manager or a research scientist, but you don't have those phrases anywhere on your LinkedIn profile, you don't have them in your visual center, which is the top of your LinkedIn profile, that includes your picture, your banner, your headline, and the first few sentences of your summary, you're invisible, okay? So you have to have a combination of these keywords in your headline as well as in your summary. You have to at the same time make it future focused. It's really important to focus on the words that employers are using to search, not your own keywords. It doesn't matter if you're a computational analytical chemist and you're really proud about your very specific niche in academia, in science, that you got your PhD in. Employers aren't thinking about that. Most recruiters and hiring managers don't have PhDs, so they're not searching for computational analytical chemists. They're searching for chemist, maybe even just scientist, okay? So don't bury the lead, right? The broader stuff. So you want to put research scientist, project management, those key transferable skills right up at the top, okay? Your LinkedIn profile is not a resume. It's not your work experience. You're showcasing where you want to go, which keywords are important that you want to match for in terms of the jobs that you want. All right, so hopefully this helps you. Remember, next week, next Thursday, the 20th, September 20th at 1 p.m. and again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing a special LinkedIn Intensive Advanced webinar, one that we've never done before. I'm going to put a link above and a link below so you can get an early seat to that. Remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.